So just close your eyes. Let your attention just sink into your body. And just forget everything. Let's come into this place where there are no questions. Where we don't need to ask what's going on, or who am I, or why is this happening? But instead, we just touch, sit, lie down into this place of pure, undifferentiated experience. Just notice that the flow of sensations continues and that it's effortless. You need do nothing for it to happen. The same is true of emotions and thoughts. But our attention is not on any particular sensation or emotion or thought, but on that point, that cusp, where we are simply aware of them. This awareness that doesn't seem to change or move is this perfect background against which the constantly changing flow of sensation, emotion, and thought goes on. And where are you in all of this? Who are you in all of this? When this question is answered, who am I in all of this? There's a tendency to have the attention move towards what is being experienced, and the tendency of the mind to begin to label and categorize and outline. But all of that is itself part of the flow, part of the series of thoughts and sensations and feelings, all of which are passing in front of this changeless, unmoving awareness. Are you what you are seeing? Are you what you are looking at? Are you what you are looking for? Or are you where you are looking from? Is not the point from which we look the closest we can be? Is that not the most intimate place? Is this place from which we perceive all? Is that not the most qualified to be given the name of I. And let your sense of I let go of all the thoughts of I, the picture of oneself, the history and memories, the associations, the forms, and let it sink into this place where all memory, history, form is being witnessed from. This place that is being perceived. But paradoxically, itself can't be perceived. Are you not that formless, pure awareness that perceives all? Are you not that? Clearly, in our long history of laps around the sun, we have thought of ourselves as forms, shapes, with boundaries and attributes and discernible characteristics. But is that truly you? Or is that simply something you are perceiving? Thought can never agree fully to being as formless. For thought is form, and all thought is the manipulation of forms, the interpretation of forms, the gathering of ideas and relationships and concepts and theories about forms. It cannot know the formless. But yet, when you look, turning your attention away from all form, by the simple acknowledgement that all form is perceived, and you are the perceiver, you have stepped outside of thought, of the mind. And the sense of I returns naturally and inevitably home to its true identity. The formless, pure awareness, being with no dependency on anything other than itself. Pure self-existence, not existing as something, but simply being. Presence as the very substance of being itself. And don't you just know it? Do you not just know your existence? Even with no thought of it, with no conception of it, with no models for it. Do you not just know it? Is not the knowing and being one and the same? as the sense of I sinks more deeply into its self, is there anything that can disturb it? Is this not the stillness, the peace, the contentment that we've all been seeking? Is it not just right here, inherent in the beingness itself? When the I returns home.
Hello everyone, and welcome. Make sure that everyone can hear me. So check the mic levels to make sure all is well, and it looks like it is. Good. Yeah. Welcome everybody. Hope you enjoyed that meditation that I actually did that a very long time ago, and ran across it and thought, gee, I should put it out onto my meditation channel, and so I did. So it's there, available to you on the Evensong Music and Meditation channel that I have. So if you want it, want to listen to it again or have more access to it, hold on one quick second. Well, I give you the link to it, and I just put the link to it. So, with that in mind, the I returns home. This path of awakening is what it is all about the sense of I, that is, how you view yourself. That sense that is the I thought, taking it out of its identification with form. That is, the body, conditioning, habits, programmed responses, memories, aspirations, even the aspiration for enlightenment. It is, I forgot to change my shirt. I'm still in the t-shirt from walking around this morning in 100-degree weather. That's what the path is about. It's not about some special attainment or some special state of consciousness or something like any of that kind of stuff. You can experience those things, different levels of consciousness and moments, sometimes extended times of bliss and insight. But that's not what it is. The sense of I, and is the focal point for self-inquiry. You can have a great spiritual experience. I've had many. You're going to have altered states of consciousness, very advanced stages of consciousness, very high, and insights and the like. But if you notice in all practices I know of, except for a couple, the emphasis is put on the experience, having the experience, retaining the experience, prolonging the experience. Never does anybody ask, who's having the experience? The experience has come and gone, right? The best experiences you've ever had in your life have come and gone. The worst experiences you've ever had in your life come and gone. What hasn't come and gone? We don't ask. We continue to seek for the experiences. We continue to seek for this state we imagine of enlightenment. and it is imagined because we think of it as just, oh, it's another state. I used to think truth was something I was going to grasp, and now I understood, and I'm going to say, Eureka, I got it, and I'm going to pop the champagne. And I was shocked, but pleasantly so, to find out it wasn't true. That all experience, the most beautiful, the most horrid, comes and goes. What doesn't come and go? Well, I don't. And since everything comes and goes, but I don't, where are we going to find that which is unchanging, unmoving, not coming and going? Because, happiness is great, but when it vacillates between that and sadness, when the bliss vacillates with misery, we realize that we're craving more than just the experience. And how many of you have been on a spiritual path trying to maintain these peak experiences? Finding you can't, and then there's something wrong with me, and I don't get it, and I got it, oh, I lost it. Right? None of that's true. None of it's real. You're always there, but we have not learned to perceive ourselves non-dually. To have a non-dual reaction, recognition of oneself, and not something that's an experience, which at best can be a mirror. You can see yourself in the mirror, and it's you, but it's not you, is it? It's just a one dimension of you. We can think of ourselves in our minds, but that thought of you isn't you. You can think of anything, right? But the thought of whatever you're thinking about, the yak behind me, right? Whatever, you can think of it, but it's not the yak. It's a video of the Taj Mahal. It's not the Taj Mahal, is it? Well, anything in our experience, right, we can go and true it up. We can go to the Taj Mahal and actually see it, and I have a memory of it, which isn't it either, but a thought of it. Or, let's say, a friend, right? You have a thought of a friend, and you're with the friend, and then what you know about the friend, you see these things, and that goes into the image as well. None of it's the friend. Everything in the universe, you can just, check with the thing. How do you do it when the thing is yourself? Where do you go to look? Where's the fact that you can then true up the self, the image of it? Well, that's it. You cannot find it in what is perceived. You cannot find it in that which is coming and going. Only in that which is not coming and going. And it's not a form. So this path of awakening is taking the thought I, which we have been so identified with, this is who I am, this picture, going, this isn't who I am, it's just an image in my mind. And then turn attention around, trying to see the seer of it, which of course you can't. The eye can't see itself, finger can't touch itself, scale can't weigh itself. You can't perceive yourself through the senses or the mind directly. Yet, don't you know you are? Isn't that crystal clear? I am. How do you know? What recognizes this? That's the inquiry. And it takes practice, not because it's hard, because you're always here, but because we are so habituated into looking for everything as a form, as an object, as something I can detect with my senses, perceive with the mind, and hold as an image. You don't fit that. You can't perceive yourself like that. And this is why it's difficult, because we're so used to doing that. We think that enlightenment is some state that I get to, that the real me, the self, the truth of me is something I'm going to eventually grasp. But it's the truth of you. Of you. What's the truth of you? Well, I could tell you one. I could tell you one that's quite readily available. You are, or I am. A fact, right? You cannot doubt it. Dubious, not dubious. It's self-evident, and you know it. Start there. The journey to what would be called enlightenment is removing that sense of I from just the images and concepts in the mind, just like we just did right then. Pulling it back to the direct perception, which is I am. And then residing there. Going back all the time, because the habit energy wants to identify with form is tenacious. It's a habit. It keeps going, right? Like smoking or something. It just keeps going. Every time we pull back from it, whenever we spend even 5 minutes just putting our attention on the sense I am, right, which is not an object, right, that journey back of the I from I am the body, I am this, I'm a man, I'm this, I live here, and blah, 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 this is what happened to me, this is what I'm hoping for, to simply I am, full stop. The more you do it, the more you let yourself abide there, you'll find that the character of the I am, which is, it's always here, stable, doesn't fluctuate or come and go. It's just vast, it's just fast, it's quiet, still, peaceful, content. That begins to permeate your everyday life. And that's where eventually you're not abiding in the I am. You realize you're abiding as the I am, that that's what you actually are. Okay? But it keeps going. You're now at the level of the most subtle. The most subtle in terms of the perception of the formless, not as an object, but also the perception of the subtlest of that impulse to identify, called in the Hindu tradition as Maya, the great illusion. Yeah. But that's where you start working out the deeper stuff, the vasanas, the repository consciousness. Everything on the subtlest level that has led to the the manifestation as a body and a form in a world with experiences and all that sort of thing, all the way back to, this is what I am. So, yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome. By all means, ask me some questions. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to do a soliloquy. I'm not Shakespeare. But, somebody said there's some noise here on the line. Is that true? Is there some noise? Nobody else mentioned it, Ava, so perhaps it was on your end. Yeah. But it can happen, as you know. My experience, the technology gods are, they love to put me to the test. Oh, you think you're spiritual, huh? How about this? Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah. Well, so far getting better. Yeah? Hey, Roberto. Good to see you again. And Rosario. And Ava, of course. Of course. Ida. Wonderful to see you. Megan, Nay. Lovely Nay. That was beautiful. Thank you. You're very welcome. Very welcome, yeah. Everybody else is saying more loud. Let me see if I can control it here. Is that still the case, folks? Or is it okay? Right. Oh no, I gotta go over here for those settings. Yeah, let me see if they've got some kind of a mic volume. Oh, they do. Okay. All the different places. So it's a little bit louder. Hopefully that's not too loud and it's not distorting for folks. So I am a little bit louder now. Marty! Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Rosario, thank you for that beautiful meditation. Nothing else needs to be said. It's a good help to listen to as often as possible and then remain in silence. Yes. All of my meditations are on my YouTube channel, which is, let's see, at, what is it, Even Song Music. Yeah. That was the name of the last band I organized a long, long time ago. And I loved it because it's the evening, sunset service that was done traditionally in the church, and I just loved the name. So I grabbed and I thought, I should use that again because I just loved it. I just love that. See, there's some static noise. Hey, GNO, I've got my speaker, so the volume is good on my end. Nay, sound okay, Megan? Of course, you know, gee, I love satsang. Okay, yeah. I'm hoping that this audio interface of mine is not on its last legs. I finally found one I really liked. I went through about 10 of them. Anyway, Christina, is there any such thing as grace, God, universe testing us? Does feel that way, doesn't it? Yeah, it's like, not Santa Claus divvying up the goods, but only after he kind of puts you to the, okay, they say they're nice. Let's find out for real. They're really nice. There's naughty. There we go. That's our concept of grace, testing. But interestingly enough, in both the Buddhist tradition and in the Christian tradition, the temptations of Christ and Buddha, we both had 3 of them, different temptations, but it's a mythological device. The tempter was not God, was not reality, was not truth. The tempter was Satan, in the Christ case, Mara in Buddha's case. Two words for their particular view of what we would call the devil. Now, the devil, Satan, became a proper name for the devil after the New Testament was written. In the Old Testament, in the Jewish Bible, Satan is a title. They would refer to a Satan, not the Satan, associating it with Book of Revelation and the fall from grace of the guy. That all came later. That had nothing to do with any of that. It's just everybody, these people trying to make it look like there's this consistent story in the Bible, and there isn't. It's a cobbling together of 66 books, God knows how many authors. I don't think there's any of them where the whole thing was written by one guy. And so we are going to experience what Christ and Buddha experienced. Right? Satan simply refers to the obstacle. Right? I think we could safely say that what Satan is, the obstacle, is all the habits and beliefs and assumptions we've had that are in which we have believed ourselves to be less than what we really are. Believing ourselves to be the person, the idea I have of myself, the concept of me, thinking that's me, which is just a concept formed in the mind, limited, shape, bounded, all sorts of different definitions, all of which are limiting. Believing that to be yourself and living as that for literally thousands of lifetimes, maybe not, who knows, right? The whole time thing gets me all messed up, becomes an energetic pattern going from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. In some life at some point, all of which is this life and this point for all of you, or you wouldn't be paying any attention to me, something happens that something cracks in that which is just grinding along unquestioned. Suddenly there's a question about it. That arising of that question, that wait a minute, is this really me? Right? Is there no way out of this? Just the fact that you can see it, you can say, I have been conditioned, is a huge step forward. But the very appearing of the possibility of that, let alone the possibility of full awakening, that's grace. That's grace. And grace, is simply, you might say, the ultimate truth, pure awareness, pure consciousness, pure being, which is God. Your consciousness, the one that's hearing my words right now, that's God. Right? But that sense of I that I was referring to in the I returns home, right, has mixed itself up with form and all sorts of stuff. And grace is gently beginning to invite that sense of I back. You feel as I'm inviting me back. I'm being invited back, as if what's calling me is separate from myself. It seems that way. Eventually you find out it isn't, but you can't, you just can't, no line jumping. you kind of got to go in order. And so God being pure consciousness, the universe being the I am manifest, this is all the I am, that's all there is. Right? It appears to you, wherever you happen to be, as these little, almost sometimes even unnoticed invitations to look differently. And sometimes it's just you find yourself out of nowhere saying, wait a minute, does this have to be what it is? Is this all there is? Why do I feel so about it? Why not? Why am I not conditioned like a dog is conditioned, with no question? They just remain happy. They don't care. Why can't I be like that? Oh, wait, because there's something else going on here. Now, as that's happening, that momentum that's been going on for God knows how many millennia, right, doesn't just vanish. It's, that rock is still rolling down the hill. And so the insight is going to meet with an equal and opposite assertion of the premise that you've been living as, embodying for all that time. That's the test. And God's not doing it. Grace isn't doing it, but the appearance of grace as the opposite of it, as I am not this, right, is going to like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? It's going to just trigger this. Right? This is actually depicted. This is the actual war in heaven. That's what it's really talking about. Not some angel somewhere that fell. It is that sense of identification, right? That seeks its own will. It's jealous. It wants things for itself. Now, wait a minute. Is that really me? And it's going to continue to appear. Mara for Buddha and Satan, or the devil, the opposer, the accuser, after they'd passed all those tests, what did the devils say? The Mara and the accuser say, "I'll be back." You'd say, "Well done, boy, I'm done." They say, "No, I'll be back." And it was, and it was, and it was, and it was at the Garden of Gethsemane. Oh my God, right? The struggle. We don't see that in the Buddha because the Buddha represents the end of it, right? Yeah, the devil came back, but at this point, Buddha saw the devil as just the tool of the divine. It was no longer something he had to deal with. It was all just kind of part of this mix, which he had himself just gone beyond, which is what's inviting you to go beyond. And it's grace. And you feel that, don't you? You can tell, because grace brings you to your teacher, brings you to the right things to look at, the right videos to look at, right? But of course, all those habits are still there. You go, that was a very inspiring one. I loved that meditation. Gee, I'll look at 10 more meditations, and on, because now mine's got something else I can begin to wrap a shape around, rather than say, wait, time out. And at some point, as this develops, you begin to consciously participate in it. It's no longer just things happening to you. That you begin to realize, I want more of this, and I don't really know what that's about. And the turning away from all of the shiny objects that are being promised, because you can see they're just coming and go. They never deliver on the promise. Momentary fun, that's about it. And the I sense is coming out of it. It feels like there's a me there that's coming out of it, which is fine for now. Right? But then at some point, you want to clear away all the clutter and really focus attention consciously on your own liberation. It's usually somewhere around there. Whether you're conscious of it or not, actually, that the teacher will show up. Sometimes in the beginning, because when it hasn't become clarified yet, someone will show up who looks like a teacher, but in fact takes advantage of you. For plenty of stories from people who have made their way to me about teachers who have done exactly that, really done some serious damage, which is actually easy to undo. But then you begin to see that all of it's a step along the way. Everything is revealing all the places you've been identified. That's what it's about. Because once you really enter this path, Everything that happens is happening in order to show you where you're identified and how to let go of it. The promise it made, the sense of a self that wants that promise, and then more deeply, the pure witness of the whole thing, which is not being pulled into it. And all these practices, like the meditation in the beginning, the discourse I did about the I, this process of coming back home, it deepens to the point where you are no longer just a person trying to become free of the I. You realize that that sense of I itself is being seen by something else, this pure witness, and you begin to take into your heart, your body, the reality of I just am. That's it. Am. Full stop. Try it. There'll be restlessness, all sorts of things will come up in reaction to it. None of which is a problem once you realize it, but once you realize that it's the I that thinks it's a problem that you're transcending. There's something deeper. There's an I that is totally formless, doesn't make a sound, doesn't exist in space or time, just being itself, that even the sense I am is being witnessed by it. It cannot be witnessed. I am that. So, right this moment, Christina, that question was impelled by grace. Grace is the manifestation in a form that you personally can understand. And it's a manifestation of the pure reality that you are called God. And that's the destiny of the I. Shedding everything other than the sense I am as identity. Eventually, the sense of me coming to God disappears. I disappear, and God is all there is. Consciousness is it. I am that. Even the thought I am that is coming is an emanation of. It is the recognition of God itself, your consciousness. And remember, what we're shedding is identity. That doesn't mean nothing in human life. Those non-dual teachers, that nothing exists, it's all an illusion, well, yes and no. It is not the way it's being presented. You find that the illusions go away because it's an illusion, right? It's got no substance to it. The mirage in the desert, it's a mirage. The desert's still there. The sun isn't moving around the earth. That illusion is gone. Yet it still appears that way. We still love sunsets and sunrises. We still get entranced. We fall in love on it. We write poetry about it. It doesn't go away. Love doesn't go away. Affection, relationships, family, none of it goes away. It's just no longer clouded by this illusion of a separate self. There's a unity to it. There's a oneness. And with that making the foundation of human life, all human life becomes more harmonious. It's no longer, the object itself is no longer the illusion. It's the belief about the object. The object itself, the form that's appearing, is in fact the very presence of the formless, which is what you are. And once you've entered this path, as you, Christina, once said, she said, there's no way out. I can't go back. And I go, yep, I gotcha. First one's free, yeah. Yeah, it's what happens. You turn around, right? There's no way back, but you know what? I don't want to go back. Yeah. But at first, these ugly states can come up because that was natural for us to have that, these problems and everything. And they will come up. That's what you would call the temptation, right? Or the test. And what is it? You just do the same thing. I withdraw my attention back to the pure witnessing of it. And then you notice subtler and subtler ways in which the impulse to identify is there. And you find that that's as subtle as it gets. And but the beautiful thing is, you can perceive it. So you are even more subtle. You are the subtlest of the subtle. Because you are imperceivable. You are pure perceiving with no perceiver. The perceiver, the perceiving, and the perceived are one. And that one is you. My morning concoction. Don't worry, Christina. I've already had my lattes, but here in Arizona, 100-degree weather, they're ice lattes. I should change. Buy me a coffee donation site. Yeah. Well, right now I have buy me a latte. But she would buy me an iced latte. But I'm only going to be here a couple more days. Tuesday, I move on. So. Let's see. Ava says, to Christina, sometimes I also feel like, yeah, we all do. Right? Why is this happening to me? What have I done? What am I going to purify? How many more chance do I have to do? 110, 109. I got to do 1,008 now. God, I lost count. 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like, right? Like I'm not getting anywhere. Yes. You're not, because you're not going anywhere. The you you're identified with that's struggling, right? The struggle, what it's really doing is bringing about kind of an alchemical reaction, right? That is allowing consciousness to free itself from its identification with that. And what is it? How is that done? Well, the inquiry, but also, remember the thing I've said, Lord? Purge me of ego, that's the ego, and merge me with you. Remember, the other side of this is the bhakti, the path of devotion. So that you're willing to let go of anything, right, and hand it over to God, to the ultimate. And it's that does it. You can see it. I'm not that. But then, okay, I can't do this. I've been relying on the person and my intelligence, my perseverance and discipline and all of that, which all have to be there. You can't abandon those. But then you realize, I've gone as far as I can go. Lord, replace me with you. There's a humbleness there that emerges, a surrender that emerges. And then grace moves you forward. Moves the pawn. What forward. It's not manipulative, by the way, because the grace in you, you're one and the same. It's the truth of you. But can you see, we really do have to get to the point where we let go of our mere human abilities to do what they cannot do. And you recognize that. Something in you surrenders and you go a step out of identity. You've just walked into a new place. How's that settling with everyone? There is the inquiry, the I, coming back home, like conscious awareness of it, practicing the self-inquiry. Well, who am I? Right? Then you realize the one struggling, the one trying to get beyond it, is also the false I. Oh my God, I'm seeing that. There's no point in relying on the capabilities of that. Oh, I did that for so long. I'm so smart. I understand it all. I'm passionate and all of that. It's like cosmic 2x4. Wham, 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 wham. Finally, oh, 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 Lord, replace me with you. Yeah. That's when you, well, in my case, it was just a surrender to the teacher because I'd already done that. I submitted, I recognize him. He knows I don't, period. He is grace appearing to me in a form that I can understand. I think it's very funny that it came in the form of a black man from Jamaica with an accent and dreads. It didn't come as, oh, hello, Krishna consciousness. It didn't come as some yogi wearing orange. And an artist. It's like, yeah, okay. That's pretty appropriate. So, nay, ding ding. Pretty much as soon as I began to detach from a false teacher, I found your channel. Yes. But you had to go through that. You absolutely did. I look at all the different things I went through in my life. And I look at them now from what I have been, from the grace that I have received. It's all grace. Right? All grace. And I was tenacious. And I understood it, and I practiced it, and I did everything that I was supposed to do. And I said, why does my life still suck? The life sucking and the inspiration. Because on one hand, I'm like talking to God. I mean, just like inspired, just endless, endless, endless. And nothing in my life worked. Things did start to work well enough that I could take care of my family, earn a good living, and all of that kind of stuff, take care of my kids. I had numerous successes, right on the verge of, the big success, right? Success. The one that would have taken me to the top, right? Stops. One in particular I'll mention really quickly. I did a voiceover for Ford. Right? It was their demo. I wasn't going to be the talent that did the final one. The talent for the demo. You get $250 for the session, right? Which is good money. 20 minutes of your time. Well, as it turned out, the producer and the client, Ford, liked my voice better than the one that they were going to go with, who was a celebrity, and say, "Yep, we're gonna do it with you. Here's the date. We need you to be there." Now, here's the deal. The recording session was at Skywalker Ranch at Industrial Light and Magic, which was the most significant studio in the world at that time. It would have given me my SAG card, which meant Screen Actors Guild, which would have actually put me now in the echelon where I'd be qualified for all the big commercials and the like. And you get at that time, it was about $15,000 for that. And if it ran more than one section, which is like every 13 weeks with commercials, I get that again. I'm packing up my stuff. I'm in San Francisco just before cell phones. Just about to head out the door to go up to Skywalker Ranch, right? I mean, good Lord, I get a call. Ooh, legal department made a mistake. They signed the contract with this celebrity. So, sorry. Something got crossed. I told them we were going to redo it. They didn't. They signed him. We got to pay him. Got to use him. I can't tell you how many times in my life that happened. Just right there, that wham. Right there, wham. It's like, yeah. I was resilient. All right, we're gonna, ta-da, we're gonna marshal. I could have been a motivational speaker, right? Eventually, it came to a point where it's like, no more, no more. I'm not gonna rebuild. Yeah. That final delusion cracking, it was 3 months straight of anxiety. I mean, constant. The only time there wasn't any is when there was panic. I mean, just everything crumbled. But in that fire, right, I'm finally driven to the point where I could go, I'm yours. I'm yours. I give up. And when I finally did that, it was about 2.5 months into total anxiety, but it started to diminish. The very first thought that came to me was, I have no future. That sounds harsh, doesn't it? I have no future. And part of it was like, what? The other part was like, oh God. And suddenly, nothing mattered except right now, the trees that were out my window, my granddaughters. And over 2 weeks, it began to subside. And at the end of that, I just totally submitted myself to my teacher and started to do whatever he said to do. And I did it. It worked, and fast. But we all have to get ready for it. So, it's not a test, right? Think of it more as when you're a professional athlete, you're not going to get better at what you do until you're competing against people who are better or at least the same. It forces you to notch up. When I was a young musician, when I played with musicians who were better than me, and I knew it, and I was scared to death, just being with them, my level of playing was like this. Enough exposure, you do that once, and then, the next day you're back where you were, but you do that enough, and your whole level rises to that. It's not a test. It's a training. It's a training. We don't want all these things to disappear and have. That's what the ego wants. Can all this bad stuff disappear and I'm just going to have everything I want and it's going to be great? No, because the ego, that false sense of self, the person, is inherently unhappy. Inherent. It cannot be happy. It cannot be at peace. It cannot be stable. It is not in its nature. And if we rely on it, we will feel the instability. We will feel the happiness that comes and goes. We will feel the peace. We will feel the anxiety until that deeper sense of us finally says, Father, Mother, into thy hands I commit my spirit. And mean it. And you're all being brought to it. That's what the nature of grace is. It may feel like fierce grace, which is the name of the book Ram Dass wrote after a stroke. I mean, this is one of the most happy, awake, just an amazing human being, articulate, funny. He had a stroke, could barely talk. Interestingly enough, even though he couldn't talk very well, his incredible wit and humor was still there, just confined. So he was in a wheelchair for a couple of years and finally passed on. But he wrote, while he was in that state, he wrote the book Fierce Grace. Mooji sometimes refers to it as acid grace. It is grace, loves. You're being trained. You're not being tested. Perhaps I could have said that right in the beginning and saved you all a lot of time, couldn't I? Christina. Oh, ding, ding. Oh, yeah, that's right. You found detached from the false teacher. Oh, and I was so happy to hear that. I was just so happy to be able to kind of guide you out of that. Right? But like I said, it's not a mistake. Grace has been leading you the whole way, and you can see what's opening in your life. That is just the tip of the iceberg, my love. Christina says the best analogy of the illusion is the meditation, the lake, and the mind. Yeah, it is. Also on the Evensong channel. Victoria, one of my so many of my students are both in the emotional healing and in the self-inquiry sangha. It might seem very confusing at first, but I'll see now that they go hand in hand. Emotional healing leads you to the capacity to be on the bhakti path, the path of devotion, because you're just free from all the overhead and stuff, and you're free from that grasping, that tense holding on to a sense of identity. It's easier to just let things go, because hey, I'm okay. I am what I'm seeking. Anyway, Victoria, how do you know your desires are really yours and not some sort of inherited thing? I mean, for the more tricky desires. On the other hand, we can desire what we know and have been introduced to, even in a non-direct way. It's an excellent question, and here's how you do it. You let yourself have it. Right? The mind wants to get involved very early on to judge the desire in some way. Oh, it's not a good desire. This isn't your desire, right? Put that aside and just be with the desire itself. If you really can do that, let it be there. It's there, right? Don't ask questions about it. Don't judge it. Don't say, is it real? Is it not real? Just let it be there. Water it. Pay attention to it. Don't grab. Notice how you want to kind of grab onto it. And notice this other part. Is it really my wanting to push it away? Just, hey guys, it's all right. Right? Yeah, I mean, it'd be really nice. Right? And, we got some danger there too. It might be and you just be with it in that place right in the middle. And what will happen is that which is just conditioning inherited and what you've been taught that you're supposed to desire will begin to fall away. And it will begin to change shape. Right? It's like I have this desire for this thing, and so, oh, wait a minute, it really isn't that thing. The desire itself becomes pure desire. It's not being influenced by anything else. You're seeing it and feeling it as it is. Because all desire, right, has at its root our deepest desire to simply be ourselves. Be who I really am, right? That's what we want. Be free. Be happy, right? A happiness that just doesn't, vaporize, right? That's what's underneath it. That's what's pushing a particular desire to the surface to manifest that. Right? That desire is arising out of the freedom and happiness, contentment that's already there, and it's actually seeking to manifest itself. When it arises in the environment of the person that is yet to be unseen, that desire then is the illusion, like the mirage in the desert, gets projected onto that desire, and it says, oh, this is what it is. All of that is conditioning and habit and past and ancestors and all of that. The desire itself is not. So this process allows us to not go there, not be afraid of it, not grab onto it, recognize, I don't have any idea what this is for, but there's something here. And then you just be with it lovingly, It's like you have a garden and this little sprout shows up. You have no idea what it is. You don't remember planting that seed. The little things you get at the nursery that tell you what it is. Somebody threw it out, or rabbit stole it or something. You have no idea what it is, right? Oh, that's a, and you can say, oh, that's that's going to be a rutabaga plant. I need to put all this stuff on it, and it's not, and it hates everything you're putting on it, and you end up, and it comes out, it's kind of looking like this. Whoa, what a weird plant. No, just okay. I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna treat it as a living thing. It has a destiny and a value, and I'm gonna just let's find out what it is. Now, its origin is always in the freedom that's already there. The mind interprets that as, oh, I'm going to get more freedom from this. At this point, that desire is no longer serving its own nature. You're trying to what is it? Conscribe it. Is that what it is? Conscription. Conscribe it into service for something other than what it was actually intended for. So just put all that aside, though. What is it? Put aside the old habit energy that makes us want to deny desire or make it for something acceptable. I don't have to deny it. It's just there, like everything else. We spent a good deal of the class yesterday on exactly that, didn't we? So then you are simply with this incredibly beautiful natural phenomena, your desire growing like a tree or a plant, and little by little, without anything additional added to it, it'll begin to take shape. Begin to say what it'll begin to bear some fruit. Oh yeah, that's what it is. But it'll all be being driven by its own nature, and in that nature is its own fulfillment. Right? The tree doesn't have to do anything. The cherry tree doesn't have to do anything to get cherries. That's its fulfillment. It just has to let itself grow, and it happens. Fulfillment, desire, fulfillment are one. Their oneness is what we call freedom, contentment, peace, bliss. That oneness, in order to manifest, it must show itself through time. And when it does that, it's seen as desire, development, maturity, fulfillment, and then kind of the denouement, the peak orgasm down into the valley orgasm, just kind of an afterglow, and then just kind of back into the pool of possibility to take another form. So it becomes an absolutely beautiful experience. And you see that, wow, everything happens like that. Every cell in your body, trees, the movement of a galaxy, your own desires, all of it is this stupendous, unbelievably beautiful whole, of which you, the consciousness, are the center of it. You are the black hole at the center of the universe. I say black hole, it means you can't be seen. A black hole can't be seen, right? It's a beautiful image up there. It cannot be seen because its gravity is so powerful, even light can't get out of it. And it influences absolutely everything. Unseen. That's you. The light at the center. All right, I'm going to let that go because, I could go on for that all day. And I was just about to, but I'm not going to do that now. Oh, I missed some lemon peel when I squeezed some lemon in there. No one. Nice name. Hey, everybody. Hello to you. Is that a sun? Ah, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, I love your image. Eva, another engineer, scientific type. She has which nebula is that you've got as your image? Sorry, I forgot. I forgot what it was. I forgot which one that was. The eye, yeah. I always have it. Eva, yes, dear G. It's like the feeling that what I'm waiting for is some kind of click, which seems to be some here. And yes, systole identity. Yeah. I was looking for that definitive aha. I really was. I thought that was what it's going to be. I had no idea. And even before I really understood identity and the person, I was led to the place where I could let that go by a Zen master. Right? And the way he did it was very practical and interesting and the like. And when I repeat it, it's like, it's so odd because just the moment between us, it just went wham, and it disappeared. It's like, oh my God, no, there is no truth. There's just this. There was just this flow that was there. Right? I was in bliss for several days. That faded. This does, of course. I didn't want it to fade. That hadn't gone yet. And it was probably a year, maybe two, right? That I recognized, wait a minute. The bliss went, but something didn't go. And this capacity that I found to see all sides simultaneously, to not get stuck in any position. In other words, the wisdom that was a flow had reshaped absolutely everything in my life, the way I taught, the way I worked, the way I coached, everything. It led to what became inner reconciliation. And it had been going on while this other part of me was still arguing, struck to get to hold of the bliss. I didn't even recognize that I had been completely transformed by that. That eventually led to the deeper inquiry and finally to my own teacher. So everybody's path is different. Your life is unique to you. I mean, it's amazing. It's like the teacher's there, guide you, point things out, point here, there's a pothole, go over there. But the discovery's all yours. It's all yours. Nobody can give it to you. And anybody who's even touched it doesn't want to give it to you. But you can't. They just want you. I just want to be around when it happens. I'm just hoping I'm around. Just going, yay! We can do a lot of high fives. Anyway, nay. Hey G, could you touch on scarcity and lack? I feel like the true self lacks nothing, and the ego is always in a state of lack. Absolutely correct. That is correct. So if you feel the sense of lack, it's identity. No way. If you feel the sense of lack, that is simply the energetic pattern that has arisen out of that original thought, I am the body. It's a feeling thought, because when that emerged, you weren't thinking yet. It happens very, very young. I mean, I've seen it in my granddaughters. It was different for the older one than the younger one, but I've seen it now developing. And when it begins, when the sense of consciousness has now confined itself to a particular form, right? And it has to happen. This is the way it works. This is part of God's movie. Right? And in embryo form arises the sense, the fear of lack, aka scarcity. There's not enough. There's me here, this big world. The fear of death. The destiny of the body becomes my destiny. I get sick, get weak, get ugly, I can die. And what then emerges is shame. It's my fault. Not right away, but eventually it becomes, it's my fault. It's my fault. Me bad, God good. This is the story of Adam and Eve, right? God set the whole thing up. Knew exactly what was going to happen, waited, right? And then kicked him out. Why? Right? Punishment because they were disobedient? No, this is how you actually learn to be God. You got to see it all, kids. Now you know. It even says in that story in Genesis, second Genesis, God said, now they have become like us, gods, knowing good and evil. What? That was the point. Have that fall. Yes, the true self, represented as God, lacks nothing. The ego is always in a state of lack. Doubt, fear, shame, hiding the shame, becoming anything to try to not have that light turned back on itself. But also in that story is something really, another part of it is that God says, okay, got to kick them out of the garden because we don't want them to eat of the other tree. What's the other tree? The tree of life. They eat that and they will live forever. Right? So out of the garden they go, and puts angels and stuff around. I mean, he was God, for crying out loud. He didn't have to put it there. I mean, he could have put it somewhere else. But that's the whole point. There was this thing that happened away from the idyllic state, like of a child, into this abyss, right? It's full of fear and stuff. But now you're in the grade school of gods, to know it all, to feel it all, to taste all the opposites, and eventually work your way back to the true self, which is the tree of life. The tree of life, immortal. Right? The true self. Right? Here's the thing, love, for everybody. Right? Oh, it's continued. Let me make sure I get it all. As soon as I started to watch satsang, all the rest I was following, I quit them all. Oh, no, that's, nay, intellectually I know it's not true illusion, but it can feel so real and trigger so much fear. I don't wish to embody it. And when I get visceral reactions, I don't know what to do. Do I ignore it, acknowledge it, paying attention to it, just holding on to the attachment? Nay. Yes. Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, it's like, okay. For an emotional healing class now, I'd work with you in a different way. So we can help the nervous system just kind of relax into the reality that you're experiencing, because this is what happens, right? I know the true self lacks nothing. Right? Now you do know that, right? And it's something you feel in your heart. You believe it, but if you tried to explain it to anybody, you couldn't. You don't know why. You can't present the kind of evidence that the mind normally goes for. This is the mind sinking into the heart. The true knower of all things is the heart. It's not the mind. Right? Now, I feel like the true self lacks nothing. Who's the true self? You see, there's a sense of an I there. It's of the lack and stuff. And it knows that, oh, look. Oh, look. There's the true self, as if it was something else, something other. Right? So notice that you're experiencing that, right? Okay, good. So where do you have to be standing in order to see this sense of identity looking to find the true self? Now, this is an advanced state, by the way. Most don't get this far ever. This is you are clearly on your path. You are clearly walking. Now, I'm just going to take you back a step to look. Okay, there's a sense of scarcity and lack here. It's fearful. It feels very real, as all illusions do, right? And at the same time, it's like, but I know G wouldn't lead me astray. And that the reality is lacking nothing. I can't sort it all out. Okay, good. Now, notice where you're standing when you see that sense of identity, and have that feeling that the reality, nothing is lacking. And you're talking about the ego is always in a state of lack. Okay. Well, the ego can't say that. The ego can't smell its own breath. What is seeing the sense of lack, the ego, the attachment to it, the desire to get beyond it, and the sense that there's a place to go to that is beyond it? What's seeing that? Isn't what's seeing that already standing beyond it? And isn't that you? Yeah, we're standing together in the same place. We're looking at it. Yeah, that's all happening, but where are you? Oh, I'm here. Are you and the true self different? The mind says yes. Is it true? Are they different? Is that which recognizes that the true self lacks nothing? What could that be that can recognize that? You can't recognize that. It's always in a state of lack. What can recognize the true self? Not as a form, because that's what the mind is trying to do. What is the truth? It's trying to find a form. But you know its character. It lacks nothing. I can't see it, but I know that it, no, I can't see it, lacks nothing. Well, why can't you see it and still know it? Because you are it. That's why. You know it lacks nothing because it's you. But there's this thought, this persistent thought, oh, it's something else over there. Gotta get to it, gotta get to it, gotta get to it. And yeah, we all go through that process, right? You're coming to the end of that process. Ain't that great? Ain't that great? You're all nearing the end of your book. That process I talked about right at the beginning of the I coming home. You are being led, step by step, relinquishing everything that isn't you. And when everything is gone that isn't you, what's left? The true self. The true self, the self of all, the reality, the infinite, the boundless, being itself, the self, and myself are one and the same. But you follow that? Take a moment for that. Put some other things here. Put you. All right. As soon as I started to watch G satsangs, all the rest of us smiling, I quit. You recognize the truth. I'm not the truth, guys. It's not a personal possession. I didn't score getting a good price on it on YouTube or on eBay or something. I was led. I didn't deserve it. I didn't earn it. I didn't do anything to get it. It was not where I wanted my life to go. But my time had come. And here we are. You're called and chosen. You've been called. That's why you're here. Victoria adds, well, some people seem to find completely out of the blue desires. I'm not sure if I have those. Maybe certain. It's not a bad thing anyway. It's just reflecting on the matter. Yeah, well, that's how you do it, right? You can't recognize a true desire from an egoic desire until you know you. Right? And how do you know you? Well, the nature of the desires themselves reveals something about your character. It reveals everything about your character. But just do what I suggested. Just let it grow. Just tend to it. Let it grow. Don't grab on too soon. Don't dig up the seed to see if it's germinating. Let it grow. Right? And the more you just let it grow, it will tell you what it is, and it will all by itself kind of peel away everything that doesn't belong there. The desire at the core is pure and innocent, always. It's nature. It's coming right out of freedom and love itself. But as it comes up, it collects. There's all sorts of stuff collected on it, you know? The diamond that's covered in dirt is not going to, what value is that? You might throw it away. We're cleaning off the dirt. And while you're trying to clean it off here, the desire itself is cleaning it off. Right? Just like in emotional healing, while you're trying to heal, the energy itself that you're trying to liberate is also participating in it. You know? There's a interesting phenomena that you probably all heard the little fun fact that a baby chick will peck at the shell from the inside 50,000 times before it finally gets to the point where it's strong enough that the thing cracks. But what isn't as well known is the mother hen is doing the same thing from the outside. She hears them both doing it. Pecking from the inside, the teacher pecking from the outside. Eventually, keep pecking. It will crack. All right. Later the past year, I've unsubscribed to a few channels. I've noticed a lot of arrogance, lack of compassion, insecurity blended with spiritual language. Yeah. And you know what else? A horrible absence of a sense of humor. I've watched some of these non-dual teachers. Dude, it's been like 45 minutes. Are you ever going to smile? I mean, are you miserable? It's kind of this. It's like they may understand, and they just are really bad at expressing it. I really suspect there's some still suppressed emotional pain there that has not been brought into the light. Instead, it's trying to be explained away like it's an illusion. It ain't. Well, let's see if I need to add anything here for Victoria. Oh, I didn't get to the whole thing. Let's see. I remember that I was not very inclined to encourage my nephews to learn music, ballet, even though my sister did want to because she didn't do it when younger. Intention was kind of try to avoid them on some pain in the case they become really interested in that stuff. And it would not do the same if they weren't introduced to it. Yeah, I introduced my kids to it. I did. Both of them were talented. They picked it up very quickly. Neither of them fell in love with it. Good enough. Fair enough. I let it go. What else am I going to do? Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm there to share what I got, and then you see what happens. But there were some other things that I showed that I did with them that they just took to like anything, like bees on honey. And one of them was, and my son even said that at a little ritual we did together with some others. And one of the things he was grateful for is my father always introduced me to big ideas. That he got, and he still is. Both of them are. They don't get this. Well, one of them does, but Dad's still kind of odd. True, Dad. Ava, I am that which I'm seeking, and not that who is seeking. It seems like there's only a feeling of seeking seen by myself. That's okay. Of course, the feeling of seeking is there. But there's no person. There's nobody seeking. There's only the feeling of seeking and its witness. That sense of the person arises in the middle and say, oh, I'm seeking. How do I get rid of me? That doesn't exist. And then there were the person. There's no person, only the feeling of seeking arising in myself and seen by no person. Somehow, oh, you did see it. Sorry. I guess I should read everything before I go off, huh? Calm down. Don't jump to conclusions, Steve. Vanished in the sense person doesn't exist, only the feeling of seeking. Yes! Yes! There can be no person. Does that mean you can't kiss anymore? No, we're feeling nothing. No, of course. All of it's still here. There's just no person there anymore. It's pure experience. Wonderful. Domitia. Yauri. Domitia Yauri Gonzalez. Welcome back. GP, there's nothing to do in effortless awareness? And this is my true identity? If not, please explain. Thanks for doing Tea with G. I mean, nothing to do to be effortless awareness. Yes. Yeah, that's a slightly different question. Yeah. Are you not aware right now? Everybody, are you aware? Was that hard? You see, the realization that that awareness is your very self and is the infinite consciousness, the pure awareness, right? That will require some effort in the process. But there's at points along the way you recognize that the effort is all just being experienced and that the awareness itself is effortless. I mean, just right now, put your attention on the fact of your being. You have to try to maintain that your being. Is there anything you need to do, or is it just there? You have to try. Get up in the morning and start it up. Awareness. It's just always there, isn't it? It just is. So it doesn't need to do anything to be what it is. Neither do you. In this path of the I coming home to itself, there will be the experience of the exertion of effort. Right? And as long as it is made in the right way, with the right objective, it will eventually itself become effortless. It just happens. In fact, it is happening, but there's just kind of a point in the unfoldment of realization where you are consciously participating in it and therefore making a decision. Okay, I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes just focusing on the sense of being as best I can. Right? Letting go of the past, the future, identity, as all of it, just letting go of everything to I just am. Now that will take some effort to do, right? It'll take some effort but eventually, because attention is trainable, and because you are persistent in it comes to just kind of settle in and abide there. I'm just abiding in the self, in the peace. Then eventually I am abiding as the peace. Of course, that's the effortlessness. As the person disappears, the effort goes with it. Because remember, you're not attaining pure awareness, you're realizing it. Pure awareness is self-maintained. It's always there. It just is. And it's not maintaining itself by, working out and stuff, eating good food. It is. Oh, this is such a simple and profound thing to grasp. And our minds have such a tough time with it. It doesn't have a beginning. It doesn't have an end. It doesn't have an origin. It has no cause. It actually makes no effects. It doesn't exist in time. It just is. Mind cannot conceive of that. Which is why we struggle with letting it sink in that I just am. And I say, yeah, I'm this and I'm that and the whole story. No, that's just a bunch of stuff in the mind, an image of me. I'm not the image of me. I'm what's beholding the image of me. I just am. That's it. What are you? I don't know. Who are you? I don't know. I just am. Notice how difficult it is to just let that sink in. Your mind will resist it. But if you persist, it's like, wait a minute, what is? Something that is didn't just appear. Right? If something appears, it had to appear out of something. Something has to just exist, period. It's what is, it's not what appears. It's not what arises out of it. It is existence itself. It is reality. That's what reality means. It is self-existent. That's why I can say an illusion isn't real. Our beliefs about ourselves are not real. They're really experienced, they're really felt, they're seen, they're an experience, but they're not real. What I mean by that is they don't exist independently of me, the perceiver of them. But I do exist, dependent upon nothing. I just am. I am the ground of being. Everything arises from me. Now, I'm not talking about GP. I'm not talking about this guy, this old guy droning on with horns trying to deceive you. I'm talking about, this is just the form that wisdom has assumed, and it's in such a shape because it will appeal to you. And of course, your perception of it, and mine, they're all different. The reality of it, well, the reality of it is you. If you resonate with what I say, it's not because he has the truth, it's because you do, because otherwise only the truth recognizes the truth. What else could? A lie can't recognize the truth. The false can't recognize the real. The unreal is unreal. An illusion doesn't exist. It's a misperception. It's seeing something that's not there. That's all. It's imagining something that isn't really there. There is something really there. It's like people who see, the face of Jesus in their toast. The toast is there. Put some butter on it, or I don't coconut, whatever you like, avocado, some tomato. Tastes good, right? But Jesus appeared to me in my toast. There are angels in the sky. They're not in the sky. There's nothing there. It's just shapes happening that we project forms onto. Those forms according to beliefs and that sort of thing. So, yeah. So there are things happen, and the sense of it will be, I'm doing it, because there's action take place in the thought. But you realize that the sense of doing can be there, but there's no doer. As Buddha put it, there's a road, there's a walking on the road, but there's no traveler. It's so subtle. The person is the illusion projected upon the forms. The perceiver of the form and the person and the form are actually one. So the person arises out of self as well. This is God's game. Now let's see. We got going in here. Right. Okay, first, we'll go over here for a quick second. Sometimes things come up and I just have to meet them where I am, where they are. Lovely. Nay. Domity. I thought I said screen's too far away. I didn't put my glasses on. I've got this, my daughter-in-law has this big screen, but it's kind of a distance away. So domitia. Domitila. Okay, sorry. I mean, nothing to do. I hope this answers it for you. And, let me know. It's such a subtle one, but I got to say, I'm just really pleased with the growth I've seen in the people who've come, and in the questions that I've been getting. We're having an impact. Thank you for that, G. I tend to suppress acknowledgement how far I've come out of fear that I'm not there yet. Well, the sense I'm not there yet's never going to be there. And the sense that I am there never left. As soon as Advaita put it, having never left the house, you're asking for the way home. It's easy to get caught up in doubting, thinking there's still more work to do. That false, yes. That false mentorship was like the carrot on the end of the stick. Now I'm questioning if I'm aware that lack is an illusion, and there's an I who doesn't feel ready. Yes, lack is an illusion. Right? There is no lack in nature. There's no lack in reality. It is a deeply held belief inherent in the ego that projects lack onto the world and therefore experiences it, is afraid of it, afraid of its own creation. But don't try to use the mind, law of attraction, metaphysics, all that sort of stuff, to overcome the belief in illusion. That's the I trying to replace itself. That's the ego trying to replace itself, which is more ego. All it's going to do is make a different version, right? That might actually be worse. Right? I mean, I'm sure the mentor who misled you and took advantage of you, the first one I've heard of, was at a similar place and got seduced by that idea of being the teacher, the mentor, and that sort of thing, and being beyond it all, and the like. She might have come to exactly, or he, I think it was a she, the same point you did, but not ready yet for the truth to dawn. It just took a different shape. It made a different character. This one, now the ego thinks that it's, I'm there and I'm spiritual and I know these things and the like. It's very subtle. It's a shapeshifter. Whatever's handy, until you see the shape shifting yourself. And you go, oh. So don't try to uproot lack. Lack is a consequence of the false sense of self. Forget about that consequence, right? And instead focus on, who am I? There's no lack. Wait a minute. Who is the one that's afraid of lack? This energy of being afraid of lack. Right? It's inherent in human life. Everybody feels it. All right. Is that the reality of me? Simple question. Really wanting to know. It's not real. It's not real. Don't try to force these things. Just really ask, who am I? Is who I am actually the ego? Is it actually the person? Is it actually afraid of things? Where's my book? Yeah, where'd you go here? Chapter 7? That's notes. Chapter 7. The Avadut Gita. Shame on you who those were in my Avadut Gita retreat. Shame on you. Let me go right to the beginning. It's the very first one. Truly, it is by the grace of God, pure awareness, pure consciousness, that the knowledge of unity arises within. Then a man is released at last, a woman, from the great fear of life and death, lack. truly all the universe is only myself. It is neither divided nor undivided. How can I even assert that it exists? I can only view it with wonder and awe. Again, be patient with this. Just keep looking. As I've heard Muji say, I'm not interested in your answer. I'm only interested in your looking. It's the quality of the look. We're practicing the looking, right? Okay, I'm aware lack is an illusion. How is it that I'm aware that it's an illusion? What am I seeing that can recognize that it's an illusion? Obviously, not something that it's a, an illusion is when it's believed. Right? The moment it's seen, oh wait, this is an illusion, it's not believed anymore. The one who believed it has actually dissolved. You've taken a step back, but a new identity has arisen that says, I see it's an illusion. So you can see the illusion because the real illusion is the one who is embroiled in it. But take your time. Don't rush. Don't let your mind get involved. That's why I do the self-inquiry song, so I can continually bring you back to just the intuitive knowing, the knowingness that does not need the mind. In fact, is beyond the mind. Everything we're talking about here is beyond mind. Yeah. So there's a feeling of, I'm not ready. I'm not there yet. Okay, let that feeling be there. We get focused on how do we get rid of that feeling? Let that be there. And instead go, okay, the feeling is there. Where's the person that believes it? See if you can find that. The feelings are there, experience is there, all of that's there. But notice that the person, the one who's experiencing it, is an assumption. Wait a minute. I'm assuming that it's there, as everybody does. Where is it? Oh shit, I can't find it. Now that's going to be really confusing. No. It's got to be there. Keep looking. To the point you go, no, it's not there. The sense of a person afraid of lack is also appearing in front. It's just a more subtle movement of the consciousness that all the rest is. Well, will you look at that? Well, gone darn, look at that. How about that? And then something inside recognizes that as the truth, in spite of the mind which can't get it. It's going to be full of doubts. Yeah, but what about? Yeah, but. Let's see. Doesn't believe that I've grown. Who is that? Yeah. What the hell is that? See, when you say it like that, who is that? The mind starts looking for somebody. Right? I want you to say, wait a minute. Right? I'm going to find that. Is there somebody there that doesn't believe I've grown? What is there? There's a feeling about it. There's thoughts about it. Right? Okay. I'm aware of it. And before I knew about any of this stuff, I just assumed that me who was aware of it was the I that's not believing it. Also, wait a minute. I actually do know that. I do know I'm the self. Even though there's all sorts of doubts coming. Do I have to get rid of the doubts? No, wait a second. Let the doubts be there. Okay. There's got to be a doubter. Let me see if I can find the doubter. Will you be able to? Try it. It's another way you can approach this. To begin to see that the doubter, right? The fearful one, the lacking one, is itself not the I, the consciousness that is aware of the lack and all, but a subtler movement of mind that is impalpable. You don't see it. It's not a thing. It's just an impulse to create a shape, a self, to wrap around that experience. So now I become somebody who's fearful. Right? Now what? This is what happens. Now, seen from that, to perceive that and understand that, you can't be that. You're standing somewhere else. What's standing there? Perceiving it? Consciousness. What is the self? Pure consciousness. The self, myself, yourself, same self. There's only one. Wow. Longer than I thought it was going to go, but no news there. Domitila. Yeah, that'd be too well to be, yeah. Unless you're from Argentina, like Victoria, and then it'd be Domitisha. What Spanish I learned in Argentina. And in the Argentine neighborhood in Miami, so I actually have that. Sure. Sure say. Yes, well done, GP. Ah, good. Oh, I did a good job. Thank you. Is to say there is no person mean the same as saying there's no conscious entity as form. Hope you understand my point. No, you got it completely, yes. There's the appearance of forms, right? But when the sense arises that that form has an identity and entity in and of itself, that's the imaginary, that's the illusion. That's being projected on the form, which is nothing but the self manifest, right? Giving it the status of being independently existent, which means it's real. But the fact it isn't. It doesn't have an independent existence. It cannot exist without you, the perceiver of it. So the person, when I use the word person, or I use the word sometimes false sense of self, ego, identity, I'm referring to a very deep and subtle belief, more than a belief, in a separation, which then confers the status of reality or entity-ness onto an appearance. The mirage in the desert, it's really there. No, it's not. It's just a projection of the mind on what actually is there. The ego, the person, is a projection onto the self. What isn't there? The self is there. What you see is the self. Everything is the self. The self perceives it. The perceiving of it is the self. The perceived is the self. So the self is the ultimate perceiver, but not a perceiver in that sense. In this sense, you'd have, GP is perceiving it. Well, GP is just another image. So the self knowing itself manifests as perceiver, perceiving, and perceived, and yet is beyond all of them. You're beyond all of them. You cannot define the self. It's just what is. And because it has no definition, it's what makes anything possible. It is why everything is infinite, boundless, inexhaustible, never running out of manifestation and never repeating itself. I mean, yeah. Thank you. Domitila. That's it. It is an L when it's just a single. Vidya. Oh, love the name. I am is in the moment, always. I am, past, future, mean nothing to it. Now is a sense of time, mean nothing to it. I am just is, timeless. It just is. I am is in the moment. I am is the moment. And now, chew on this for a second. What's aware of the I am? Subtle, isn't it? There's a subtle sense of being. What's aware of that? Happy day. Hi, G. I'd like to invite my agnostic friend to have a session with you and talk about oneness, but I'm not sure it's going to be me trying to control this path. Thank you. Oh. You know what? It's a lovely sentiment. It's a wonderful thing. Don't got any money. I'm happy to do it for free. And what you do, your heart's drawn to that. Right? And just set aside. Right? Am I trying to control it? No. I can feel it. You're not. You've touched on some things that are so meaningful to you. You really want to share them. Now, remember, you can't speed up or slow down anybody's progress. But just remember, it's just your love. Your love for your friend. That you would like to go, okay, well, what else is there? I had somebody say, well, I'm an atheist. And I said to him, yeah, so am I. He goes, what? How can you be an atheist? I said, you know what? I don't believe in the same God you don't believe in. But there's a beauty here. There's an intelligence. There's something awe-inspiring. There's no atheist, or even the most materialistic scientist in the world that wasn't drawn into it by the sheer awestruck, the just gobsmacked by when you see and actually get the vastness, the intricacy, the interrelatedness. You just can't help but stand back. It's intelligent, but when we use that term, somebody thinks of it a being with intelligence, like it's an entity. It's not, but yet intelligence is just rampant. It's everywhere. It's like these forms aren't arbitrary and random, and there's a shape to them. Now, if I have a deep religious view and a personal God, God made that, right? Because they can't see past the sense of a person making something, and that's the way, and that's got to be the intelligence. They can't see intelligence as something that just pervades the universe. It's a thing, entity in and of itself. It is a manifestation of what? Here we can talk about that like the self, because these are terms used. But I'm talking to somebody who doesn't that, I would just go, yeah, but what? Of what? There's order and form in it. Now, here's the only pace of variance that I would have with all the scientists. I know many, and I've talked to many, and I've got some that are students, right? And it's this. The scientist, the very materialistic scientist, which is not all of them anymore, thank God, dismisses the idea of some kind of intelligence that is forming things, and so it looks for how did everything come together in these beautiful patterns. It looks for something in the objects themselves that's making that happen. It's like take a piece of white paper with iron filings on it, bring a magnet to the bottom, and shoop, they go into the shape. Now, unaware of this other dimension, somebody would be studying all the iron filings to find out how it is they knew to get together. Now, that's where most people see science, most people think of things with the materialistic model. But as you dive deeper into it, as the scientists are doing the cutting edge work, first in relativity, then quantum and the like, we find that that's not the case. That the forces that are making this happen are not in the objects themselves. And now look, the whole universe is taking this shape, expanding in accelerating in the expansion, driven by dark energy. What the hell's that? They're basically trying to define something that can't be defined. The non-dualist, the advaita, the spiritual teacher, doesn't buy, there's no person doing anything. It's inherent in the nature of being itself. That intelligence, which is the character of being itself, also of love. Its nature is love, it's peace, it's contentment, it's joy. That is manifesting as the universe, and so we see reflected in the universe intelligence and order and a breathtaking beauty. Where's this coming from? It's a mirror. It's reflecting the nature of the self. So, boy, I went off on that. Just offer. Look, you might be interested. This guy's he seems to be knowledgeable. He's not, no dogma, no belief system he's promoting. Just the desire to know what's true. If I didn't see this stuff as true, I wouldn't be talking about it. I don't care about it. I don't want to believe. Good God. I want to know what's true. That's what drives me. That's what drives all of you. I don't want to just settle for a pretty lie, a pretty falsity, even if it's really, really nice, because eventually there'll be another one that's not so pretty. I want to know what's true. Where else am I going to be able to stick a stake in the ground, sink into a place where I can finally feel stable and secure? Only the truth is going to do that. Falsity is gone. And they identify with an agnostic because they're clear. They do not want the bullshit of religion, superstition, ignorance, dominance, which has just become a tool for power. They don't want that, and I agree with them. I don't either. Yeah. But most end up just adopting the totally materialistic model as the pendulum swings, so they can just avoid anything that we can't come to see as true. We have no way of testing, is it true? That's what the science and rational and classical analysis that was about. But that sense of truth is going to give way to a different way of knowing truth, and that's jnana, prajna, wisdom, which transcends both. I hope that was meaningful. It was fun going off on that. Thank you, Happy Day. Love the flower in your hair, too. Yeah, just the beauty of male and female. Just like, wow. Babies, puppies. It's like, sometimes I'm just going to explode. It's like my body can't handle the beauty of it. Love you too, Brent. Megan, thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for your being here today. Domitila. Me again. Can awareness recognize itself, even if the mind is in a constant state of anxiety? I am that I am. Who is that? No form, but it's a feeling. It's only the awareness that can recognize itself. Can that which is not aware recognize anything? Thoughts aren't sentient. They're not seeing themselves. The I isn't perceiving itself. The I is just a collection device. It's not seeing anything, right? Any more than, any more than this microphone is hearing me. It's just a conduit. What is it? Boom! It's actually cognizing. You, right? You're hearing my voice. You're seeing the image of me. You're seeing your thoughts about what you're seeing. Better and different. Right? That's consciousness, isn't it? microphone isn't hearing me. These eyes aren't seeing me. The brain isn't processing it. What is actually cognizing? Well, that's you. Consciousness. That's awareness. Now, this path is to expand on that, to notice that what is aware of consciousness is consciousness itself. It's always awareness, recognizing itself. This is non-duality. It's not one thing knowing another. It's a non-dual recognition. I recognize I am. And what can recognize that it is except what is? You follow that? It is just, ooh. And that recognition can be there, and is there, when the mind's in a total state of chaos. Awareness is still there. The mind doesn't know it's in chaos. And there's something there that recognizes that state. There's also something there that recognizes the thoughts about that state. So, oh my God, it's chaotic, the fear of it, all the emotions that go around with it. But all of that's appearing to the awareness. Right? So even in that moment when it's happening, you can become aware of being aware. This is the exercise of all this is going on. I'm in a total state. I can't think. To whom is all of this appearing? So now at this point, it's not about what's happening. For most people, it's like, how do I get it to not be chaotic? And they think, oh, the spiritual enlightenment is when there's no chaos. And so it becomes you're basically trying to rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic. You're shuffling all of this around, and there it is again. But what it does is go, okay, you know what's more important than what's being perceived? The one's perceiving it. This is all appearing to me. Who am I that's perceiving it? Notice the emphasis now is no longer on the anxiety or the constant state. It's on you. It's on myself. And that will take effort to do, because the habit is to go back, go back, go back. The feelings will all want to go back. The impulse to get all wrapped around the axle, right? To log in to the whole story will be there. But little by little, as you insist and persist, right? You go, now wait a minute. Who am I that's seeing it? And when everything's wonderful, great, and lovely, and it's perfect, and dolphins are jumping, rainbows, and people are falling in love, and everything's just wonderful, you also go, to whom is that appearing? I'm not trying to get rid of it. But I'm going to enjoy it thoroughly. But who's seeing it? I am. Who am I? Then you see the reality of the self that is beyond everything that appears. As you do that, paradoxically and miraculously, what appears becomes increasingly and increasingly harmonious. The anxiety, they just disappear because there's nobody there to be anxious. And so the feelings then become just feelings, and eventually they just kind of all level out into the experience of contentment, punctuated by events, sometimes great joy, sometimes grief, right? But you see them, they're on the screen, and I'm watching. That's freedom. Vidya, I am that I am. Who is that? I. No form yet, and it's nothing but a feeling. There's not an entity there. Just get that. The feeling will be there, and immediately there's a sense of somebody having that feeling. Right? A person having that feeling. And you can tell it's the person because They want to hold on to it if they like it. They want to push it away if they don't. They take a position towards it. If you feel the sense of something wanting to judge it, to take a position about what it is, that's the person. But I'm seeing that too. And the pure awareness, the perceiving of it, and I'm witnessing of it, isn't taking sides. It doesn't have a preference. It's witnessing even the preferences. Nothing wrong with the preferences, by the way. Of course, I much prefer a mink glove on my face than a stick in my eye. Just me, old-fashioned. But that belongs in this world. It's being perceived. And in this path, who is it? It's beyond even the sense of somebody suffering. It's me. Who am I? Who am I that are aware of being aware and is not suffering? That's the real you. That's Buddha nature. That's the true Christ. That's grace. It's reality. The street name for all these wonderful lofty terms for God is me. It's me. The me that is and the me that appears. This form is important. Without it, I couldn't share my heart with you. I wouldn't have disembodied reality. To experience myself, form appears. Nothing can capture all of being, all of me, all of you. Nothing. Shapes appear. They all are like a mirror. And you just can't see what's standing in front of the mirror. The perfume of a flower, but you can't find the flower. Because you are the flower. It's a perfect video game. The last place anybody would look for the treasure. I am the treasure. And you are. All right, I'm going to let this go for now. Yeah, what a pleasure to be with you all. And check out my channel. Next week, on Sunday, I'm planning on doing tea with you. Many of you know I'm traveling. Next Sunday I will be in Connecticut. After that I will be around Wednesday. The following week's around the 21st, 22nd. I will be starting a retreat with my own teacher at his place. That's going to go on for 10 days. So I'm going to be completely off-grid for that. But next week, I'm planning on doing it, but the friend of mine I'm staying with and I do live streams at the same time, and I'm not sure the bandwidth can handle it. I'm going to have to check when I get there to see if live stream is even possible. And I will send a letter out, an email out to everyone, and maybe even make a video in the meantime to just kind of post so you all know. So I won't be doing any private sessions within that period of time, unless it's an emergency. Students of mine, I will. You just get in touch with me, and I will do it individually. So I'm just kind of homeless, wandering around, and with a couple of goals in mind. And, so hopefully I will be able to do one next week, because for sure the week after that, the next two I won't be, because both of those I will be on retreat with my teacher, which I have not seen in person in 9.5 years. I'm so jazzed to be able to see him. Yeah, what a time. I just can't help but be grateful for the teacher, and grateful that Grace finally kicked my ass enough that I surrendered and submitted to it. It is out of this that all of this is coming. So what's coming from me is a really great lineage. A really great lineage, going to back to Ramana, and and Nisargadatta. He's part of it. He's not direct, but same. Such an influence. Muji's my teacher. Yes, yeah, and has been. I know he's very popular. He's very, very well known. But I'll tell you, the experience of him when he's really your teacher. And I sat in front of him when I was in India 9.5 years ago. He was in India doing extended satsang. I worked on audio visual, did some audio for it, so I could be there more. So I did get very, have just the 8 people just sitting in the room. There's 1,000 people in the satsang, so it was an access I was so grateful to have. And sitting about 2 feet in front of him, I asked him to be my teacher, and he said yes. And it was different, really different. The experience of him actually, as Ramana put it, once you put your head in the lion's mouth, there's no escape. You don't know that when you're doing it. But yeah, the next chunk of time was just an increasing amount of disasters, one after another. And something which he saw quite clearly. I felt, but wasn't ready to let go of it. It was burning away until it eventually did collapse, a delusion that collapsed, but only after going through a very extended time of burning and anxiety and pain and trying everything I knew how to do to get out of it until I could finally just surrender to it. There was no way out. I didn't realize that at the time. It was later, oh yeah, that's right. I stuck my head on purpose, by choice, into the lion's mouth, who said, okay, I'll take it. But it took a while to truly submit to it. So my experience with him is, hundreds of thousands of subscribers and the like. But it's very different when he is really here. It's a different thing happens when the student really chooses the teacher to the point where they are really willing, even though they can't surrender, they can't really surrender, they really don't get it yet. But the teacher can sense the willingness, the desire, and also all the obstructions to be there. So when you get to the point where you're willing to actually kind of put others aside and say, okay, this is the path for me, at least best I know, until proven otherwise, right? Teachers, trustworthy, they're not seeking anything. They're not trying to get it, they're not manipulating, they're not putting beliefs in my head. They never diminish me. I always feel better about myself with them. They're gentle, but when they're harsh, you can feel the love in it. It's like, yeah, okay, it's enough. I'm going to commit to this. Let's see where it goes. Yeah. And then everything happens on a different level. So it's not just, oh God, great video on YouTube. I really like that. I want to ponder that and that sort of thing. It's like, no, this is my path. Please guide me. I'm not going back. And that's so teachers there, right? It's us who have to become ready to actually recognize that the teacher is simply the presence of grace in your life. They're there. They will always be pouring out blessings, but there's a time at which you yourself, okay, this is it. That's when your path moves out of off of the spiritual marketplace, the smorgasbord of things that are available, and you say, this is the way. I'm headed on this way. Everybody has to come to that at some point. nobody can rush it. Nobody's going to force you. You got to do it. You got to do it. No, no, you don't. You don't. It can't be false. It can't be just because you're supposed to do it at this point or something. Nope. Nope. Can't happen like that. Yeah. Something inside just, I guess it's kind of like getting married, right? Something inside says, yeah, this is the one. I just did 2 workshops, one for men and one for women, about a lot about relationships. And yeah, it's fraught with danger, as you saw a little bit earlier with May having been really abused, right, taken advantage of by a mentor, spiritual teacher, if I remember correctly. With one of my students, same thing. Right. So, yeah, I think we also have to kind of taste the vinegar to really recognize the honey. Yeah, it's all part of it. You know, I had my share of cul-de-sacs I wandered down. Yeah. And now I'm confident I found the final path. It's an amazing, amazing thing. Yeah. Boy, you guys just keep setting me off. Somebody grab me and pull me back to earth, will you? All right, my loves. So good to see you all. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, I just can't express my gratitude enough for you all. And this is, wow, it's just amazing. Oh, cicada. You noticed that before. Yeah, good to see you. I think I've seen you once or twice before, maybe. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you for being here, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Don't hate me if I can't make it. Different background.